going back to Lynn Jr., I think the main issue, I'm a fan of Lynn's, but obviously we know there is a big sort of hindrance surrounding her character, and that's some episodes do not portray her in the best light. I think we can all agree on
Yeah.
that. No Such Luck being the obvious infamous example. She
Oh,
threatened
I'm
to
already
beat,
forgetting that
yeah,
episode.
she threatened to beat Lincoln up with a baseball bat, and then contributed heavily to getting him locked out of the house. Even if he did do some of it himself, she played a big part in that. And then there's obviously things like the subplot of Schooled. I didn't really like that much because
Yeah,
obviously
me
she
neither.
comes across as a bit of a bully, and I'm like, I get she's the tough, abrasive one, and there's a way you can make an aggressive
And she's
sort of sister character work, and most of the time they do, but it's those episodes where she's not done well that everyone remembers, and as a result, a lot of people hate the character, and therefore fans like you and I think.
If these are the woes of being a Lynn fan. It's hard being a Lynn fan, you know what I mean? Because you obviously have to defend why you like her, everybody, because most people think, well, she's not a great character. She's always being horrible to everybody. And you see lots of hate art and hate fan fictions and stuff about her.
Oh, this you really kind of, it's a shame how that's all turned out, and it's, and I think like that's how a character is remembered. Like even all the haters outside the fandom, they all have to bring up Lynn Jr. as if she's the worst cartoon character to ever exist, and I'm like, no, she really isn't.
she's just really misunderstood. They just don't understand her
Yeah,
character.
She's just really misunderstood. They just don't understand her.
You serious?
Because often we have to defend ourselves against haters of her character. There's a lot of them out there. And it would just be nice, be able to finally move on past all this No Such Luck hate,
Yeah.
I think that's fair enough, I mean, obviously some people say it's just easier to ignore it, but, it shouldn't be there, really. She can still be. You can still use it for jokes and the occasional antagonistic role as well. Don't get me wrong, but you do have to have that balance between the two to say, look, having Lynn around isn't just a bad thing, and I think that's part of the problem, because when they only use her to be an antagonist and never for anything good, it creates the impression that she's good for nothing. She's just a bully. She's just a selfish jerk. Blah blah blah. And that's part of the problem. That's where all the Lynn haters come from. And it's like, we're still at this point, all these years later, and it kind of
toning it down a bit.
Yeah, they are toning it down, and as a result, the Lynn hate is starting to die down to a point. But it's like, I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I just want it to get to a point where, like, it never existed in the first place.
Ooh, you were mad.
Like, yeah, I don't know. I always say Lynn is my favourite character, and she is, but I always have to continue that with Bert, and then say all this other stuff. It's like, oh, for God's sake, why can't I just be able to say it without having to add all that other stuff in?